Hello everyone! I know it's been a while since I brought you guys a Watts video, since I've branched off and researching other cases, and as you can see here, this is where I make my videos. You guys know that I like to investigate a little bit deeper, and I've had these videos sitting in queue since November of 2019. So I have a lot of work to go over with you guys, and today I'll be going over the video called Prove It. And this is with regards of the Mistress Nichol Kessinger. Now I'm going to be pointing out some things that Nichol Kessinger has said that was very suspicious. And if you've watched my other Watts video, you'll see that this might look familiar from the timeline videos that I've done in the past. And as you see here on August 13th, as we all know, Nichol Kessinger's phone pinged in Frederick, which is the area of Shanann Watts and Chris Watts' house. The morning he did the horrendous deed to his poor, beautiful family. And here's where I showed the map where she left her area where she lives in North Glen Thornton area, where she pinged in Frederick and then Platteville over to her work, down to Brighton and back down to her house that day. And those are all pings from her phone activity. And that was the only day, the only morning leading up to what happened that she took the Frederick way to go to work. Because in that other video I made about her phone records, I did these maps for every single day leading up to what happened. And every single day she would go from North Glen to Brighton to Platteville. Never went towards Frederick. So, why that morning? Nothing's been released that shows or states that police and investigators ever asked Nichol Kessinger why she pinged there that morning. And if they did their homework like I did, they would have seen that she never went that way when she was going to work. So why wasn't this asked? I mean, it doesn't even matter where exactly she pinged at in Frederick. It could have been on any of the towers that are in that area. The big question is, why did she go that way on the day he annihilated his family? It's puzzling why they wouldn't ask. Why was her father so demanding with how they were going to treat his daughter during the investigation? What type of power did he have over these investigators to where these important questions were not asked? I've tried to put this case on the back burner for a few months now, and just rethinking all of this, it enrages me all over again, because I've been so passionate about this case, about the victims, and all the people involved. And I know a lot of you feel the same way. There's so many unanswered questions, but I think if there were one question to be answered on this case, it would to be, why did she ping in Frederick that morning? And that was a half an hour after he left. Why did she go that way that morning, and she never went that way any other morning? It's a simple question, and maybe it has a simple answer. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's why it's never been brought out to the public, because someone might get in trouble, perhaps. And I'll quote Nichol herself. Why? Why can't they answer the question? It's very fishy, isn't it? Alright, so on with the rest of this video. I just had to put that out there again, because I know a lot of you feel the same exact way. So this is a quick shot of what was told. Nichol had told Chris to prove that he had been to the site that Monday morning. The same site where a couple days later his family was found in the ground and in the oil tanks. So now Chris had to follow the demands of his puppet master. So what does he do? He responds with text messages between him and other Anadarko employees to prove that he was at the site. Chris also sent Nichol a picture of the release. So here's another question that should have been asked. And even though Nichol worked at Anadarko in the safety department, why would she need Chris to prove to her that he was at that site? What would be a logical explanation on why she would need him to do that? At Survey 319, why not the other oil site at 1025? She didn't need proof that he went there. Only the site that his family was at? Seriously? That is suspicious as hell. And the fact that she even used the word prove. Now let's think about this. Let's think, for work purposes, if she really needed a photo of the release, let's say, because she works for the safety department, why wouldn't she say something like, well, can you show me a picture of the release, so I can send it to my higher ups or something like that, whoever needs to take care of this kind of stuff. She definitely could have took a more professional approach to trying to get a picture out of him. But no, she said, prove that you've been to the site. So this is the same page that I just showed you. It's just the entire paragraph. Just in this one paragraph, she contradicts herself multiple times. Now, I wrote down the important notes in this paragraph to use it as a timeline. So first, she asked him why he didn't come to the office that Monday morning, and that he usually comes to the office first. So, no big deal. He usually comes to the office first. So, why aren't you at the office, Chris? Well, wait a minute, because sometimes he had been going to the field first. She states he can go directly to the field. And then she miraculously recalls him telling her that he had to go to the pump site on Sunday. So now she knows on Sunday, I don't know which call that was. I'm going to assume it's going to be the 111-minute phone call that she can't remember any of their conversation was that night during that call. But she does recall him telling her that he's going to go to the pump site, and he tells her that on Sunday. So then why is she calling him and talking to him? I'm going back up to the top and asking him why he didn't come to the office if she already knew what he was doing. So then again, Sunday, he told her he had to go check on the release, and she says she was suspicious on why he would do this because he's not part of the environmental team. But then she says that he occasionally deals with releases and might be responsible for closing and shutting the valves. So now she's saying Monday morning she questioned him about going to the site, and that's when she told him to prove that he was there. And that's when he sent the picture. And Chris had told her that Luke sent him or Troy to go take care of it, and Chris told her that he would take care of it. So why would she be suspicious because he's not a part of the environmental team, but then Luke, his boss, or one of his bosses, had told him to go do it? So she really messed up here by contradicting herself so much because she talked to him Monday morning and knew the prior day on Sunday that he was going to be going out there. So I think that is a straight out lie that she told investigators. She admitted that she knew Sunday he was going out there, but then had to call and ask him on Monday morning? No. If they had a conversation on Monday morning, it was not about why would he be going out there. It was about something a little bit deeper than that. And if we can't see these calls, then it must have been on their work phones that she had called him on. So she had to come up with an excuse on why she called him Monday morning, because they definitely got those phone records. But the reasoning on the phone calls is a lie and contradicting. And once again, why would he need to prove to her that he was there at 3:19, Survey 3:19? Why that one and not 10:25, the one that he went to with Troy after 3:19? Now, another good question with this prove it to me is I hope investigators really took a look back on that as well, on prior days when he was working at other oil sites, and if Nichol had any type of pattern of asking him to prove things to her. Because just like the ping in Frederick, if this was the only day that she said, prove it that you were there, then yes, another suspicious red flag. So, moving on to the next piece, now that we know that she spoke to him Monday morning, and she says here she did recall talking to him on Monday, but she says she did not hear a lot from him that day, that he was busy, and there was nothing alarming that he said. So the phone call that they did have that morning when she lied and said, well, why aren't you in the office? So what did they really speak about that morning? And she says nothing he said was alarming. Now, let's pretend for a second that she did know of Chris's plans, what he was doing that day. Let's just say she knew that. And she's telling investigators that nothing was alarming. Of course, it wouldn't have been alarming because she would have already known the plan and known what Chris was doing. So whether they were actually talking about the plan that Monday morning or not, it still leaves us with the question of if they did talk that morning and she lied about what they talked about, what did they really talk about? Because she's not actually telling them the truth. All she's saying is that she asked him why he didn't come to the office and that nothing he said was alarming. So that's telling them nothing. Just like she says she can't remember what was the phone call about or any conversations they had during the 111-minute conversation they had Sunday night. Like, there was nothing. There's no explanation or details of any of these conversations. So what is she hiding? Her dad even said she is a talker and she's always been a talker. She has to be able to remember what she's talking about. And usually when people are lying and trying to cover up things, of course they're going to say, well, I can't remember what we talked about. So then she had left work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that is according to her time card. But another big important question is, when did she arrive to work? Because just like the first question, why did you take the route of Frederick that morning and that morning only? So if she pinged in the Frederick area at 6:16 in the morning, let's say it takes 15 to 20 minutes to get to work, she should have been to work and clocked in at work by at least no later than 6:45 in the morning. So why didn't they tell us or put in the discovery what time she clocked in? That is way more important than what time she clocked out. Because by 3 p.m., Chris's dirty deed has been done. He was done before 8 o'clock in the morning. So where the hell was she after that ping in Frederick? That needs to be looked at, because if she didn't punch into work at 6:45 or before, that would be a huge missing puzzle piece. And again, it's suspicious. So then when she gets home, her friend Jim, leave Jim alone, was at her house. She refused to give them, the investigators, his last name. And she says that Jim does not know Chris. How does that even make sense at all? Because on her phone activity video that I did, she's calling Chris, she's calling Jim, she's calling Chris, she's calling Jim. One after the other, directly after the other. So you're going to tell me you have this really good guy friend that you're such good friends with him, you're letting him stay at your house alone. But he's not going to know about your boyfriend, the family that you've wrecked. You have not told him one thing about Chris. This is supposed to be a really good friend of yours, and he doesn't know one thing about Chris. They seriously should have brought him in and interrogated him as well. Because I'm sorry, but that is bullshit. Like her dad said, she loves to talk. There's no flippin' way she would hide a secret like this from a friend that she trusts so much she lets into her own home. He has a key to her home, and she's not going to mention anything about this boyfriend. I'm sorry, I just find that really hard to believe. Now, moving on to the part where she says that Chris sent her a text about his family being gone, and that was at 3:45, and she thinks it was purposely sent at that time. What does that even mean? She thinks it was purposely sent at that time. What is the purpose? Where's the logic behind that? Why would she think there would be an exact need for him to send it at that exact time? What is so important about this time? Is it because she was with Jim? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense at all. So when Chris texts her about his family being gone, it didn't concern her at first. Okay, so his family's gone. No big deal. Maybe they're just missing. Or let's pretend if she knew about this plan. If she knew, of course it wouldn't concern her. Because she's happy as hell. She's finally getting her wish and her dream to be with the man of her dreams. But the red flag here is that she wasn't concerned until he says, "Can you call me?" So if she's not concerned about the text, what would make a difference if he needs her to call him? What's the big deal here if she likes to talk? And let's pretend again that she did know about this plan. Let's say that she knew. And now she's worried because he's asking to call and talk to her on the phone. And she has to know by this point, he's had to have said something about, one, Nichol Atkinson being at the house and calling the cops being at his house, searching through his whole house and doing little interviews with him, asking him questions. She had to have known that by this point at 3:45. And that would be the reason why she would be concerned if she knew about the plan. Because she's becoming concerned with her own safety. She doesn't care about Chris's family. If she did, she would have never had an affair. She should have been a respectful woman and waited until he at least left the house and was getting a divorce for real. She knew he was married. And she had to have known Shanann was pregnant with the baby. I mean, it was all over Facebook. Her Facebook was totally public. And I know a lot of people have said that there's no evidence to pin her to any of this. There might not be, but there's still a lot of questions and there's a lot of fishy suspiciousness going on. We all know this. Anyone with a brain or common sense can figure that out. And everyone says, Why would a mistress want a man to kill his family? Why would she be a part of that plan? That question is simply just not important enough as to all the suspicion wrapped around her. I mean, 9 days prior to this happening, she's so invested in this relationship. She's looking for wedding dresses for 2 hours. So if you have the question as, why would this woman that's been in such a short-term relationship, they started talking through business email in June. That gives a 2-month relationship. So why would a mistress want the man that she's in the relationship with to off his family if their relationship is only 2 months old? Clearly, that's not a long enough relationship, they say. But they did not have a normal relationship. They both thrived off of what they were doing to poor Shanann, as far as the cheating and trying to hide goes. So yeah, it doesn't make sense on why she would want this, why she would want Chris to do this to his family, being they've only been in a relationship for 2 months. But here she is so invested. This is a deep relationship. They've escalated their relationship in 2 months that she's looking for wedding dresses. I mean, what does that tell you? She wanted to marry this man within a 2-month relationship. And you don't think it's possible that maybe other people are just as equally evil as Chris Watts himself? Ask yourself that. Here's another really important question that has not been answered as well. She has deleted searches from 1 year prior to what Chris did to his family. On August 13th, 2018 is when he took out his entire family and disposed of them inhumanely. And 1 year prior, on August 3rd, 2017, she's Googling Chris Watts. She wasn't even working at Anadarko at this time. So how the hell did she come in contact with Chris Watts? Possibly on social media. What did she do? Just look at him and say, oh, he's hot. I think I'm going to wreck their family and take this man away from his beautiful, loving wife. And then still prior, months before her getting a job at Anadarko, January 7th, 2018, she Googles and deletes Shanann Watts. And once again, nothing has been made public in the discovery. Were there questions even asked about these old searches? Because once again, that is suspicious and it is stalking. She is stalking her victims. It's no different than a praying mantis and a black widow getting ready to eat their prey, wrap them up and eat them. I would really like to know if investigators or police even asked her this simple question. All these questions are just so super simple, and they probably have super simple answers. Or if they're not simple answers, they're not telling us. They're hiding the answers. Now, why would they do that? Now, here it shows even September 1st, 2017, that Nichol Kessinger had searched on the internet for Shanann Watts. But this is false, and I'll show you why and help make sense of this. Let's just say, let's go down common sense road for a second. September 1st, 2017. Let's just say it was a typo, and it was September 1st, 2018. Like some people speculate that that was a typo. Chris annihilated his family on August 13th, 2018. Nichol had her interview with police the following day. And if it was September 2018, she knows at this time what happened to Shanann and the girls. She knows. So, what would be the purpose of her searching for Shanann in 2018, which was almost a month after it happened? It just doesn't make sense why she would search for her afterwards. And not only that, they confiscated her phone, her iPhone 6 Apple, on August 23rd, 2018. That was 10 days after he annihilated his family. So if she doesn't even have her phone after August 23rd, how would that be a typo of September 1st, 2018? Exactly, because it wasn't. It wasn't a typo. She searched her. She searched for Chris Watts August 3rd, 2017, a year before the murders. And then a month later, she searches Shanann, possibly for the first time on September 1st. The only difference here is that when she searched for Chris Watts on August 3rd, 2017, Nichol deleted that history. When she searched for Shanann on September 1st, 2017, it wasn't deleted. So that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed what I put together here and all the suspicion that still lingers almost 2 years later over the mistress, because no one can give us answers to these simple questions. It's really unbelievable. So let me know what you guys think below. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.